Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Michelle the Seaside Crafter. This is my personal Christmas junk journal. Now clearly it could be for many years. I made this back in 2019 and it was my first little golden book that I did, and my first Christmas. It wasn't really a December daily because I'm not good at tracking everything by like the day. So I just winged it, and I mean, it's not perfect because it was my first time doing it, and sometimes, I just see something, I'm like, hey, I can make that, and not even thinking about, the proper structure and whatnot. And I say that because, it's pretty good. It's really big, and wasn't even thinking what size spine do I want. Just did it. Like I said, wasn't even thinking. I'm just gonna measure this right now. Let's just see. All right, so I thought it was like bigger, but it's like 3 3/4 inch spine. So I mean, not crazy, but when I say like the structure, I should have, but again, I wasn't thinking. I should have made the spine stronger. So I'm pretty sure this is probably just a piece of cardboard, but as you can see, like, it's not the strongest. It's not the strongest. And when I open it, whatever, I can lay it like that. So it's, see what I'm saying? It's a little like that. But it is what it is. I'm not worried about it. It's mine. No one's looking at it unless, but this is what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to show you today because it's just magnificent because, it's just awesome. But while I was cleaning and doing stuff, this is what I came across my friend Lori at Petey Pie Designs. She makes awesome charms and things. She has an Etsy shop, and she made me this Christmas dangle a couple of years ago. And I was cleaning as I'm still trying to clean and organize and get rid of things and whatnot. And she had made me this, and she had asked me what colors I wanted, and I knew it was going to be for this one. I said, just do like, make, I don't know, Christmas, or maybe I even picked them out, who knows. But I liked this one because it was the red and green, and it went with this. So I figured because I just found it, I'm going to attach it to my spine. But I wanted to show you because as I was trying to do it, I realized a few things. I'm going to use my crocodile to I'm just punching a hole through it, and I'm not worried about anything else. But what I realized was I was going to go, I'm looking at the spine, and as it's already decorated, and I'm thinking, well, I definitely want it, it's going to go in the middle. I definitely want it like past this rickrack. So I'm probably going to need it like down here somewhere. Okay, well, that's good in theory, but then what I did was I took my crocodile and I was putting it down to see where I'd have to place it. And then I thought, well, you know what? Let me just take my clip, because I'm sure someone else has had this problem. Let me take my clip and see where actually, when I clip this on the top of my spine, how far is it actually going to go down? Like, where is it going to fit? So I did that. Well, not yet, but when I was trying to figure things out. So I have 5 signatures in here. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it like in the middle over here. So just past the second, between the second and third signatures. And what I did was I just took my clip without putting a hole, and I just put it like that. So, you can see the clips only have so much space, and not just this, I'm not saying this one, but like, I think a lot of them, or depending on what you're putting in. But I just wanted to make sure if I punched a hole, I'm not going to have to punch 2-3 holes to get it to fit. So what I'm thinking is, I see where the closure closes like right there. I'm thinking I might have to punch the hole like right around there. So then I looked on the inside to see how far it went down. And as you can see, that's how far it went down. So I'm going to punch a hole, I think, like where that is. Now, it's going to pull on it because my spine isn't, it's probably like one, I don't even remember what it was. It was probably like a cereal box or who knows. But I'm going to take a little marker so that I can mark where that is. And I know it's like after the fact, but I just found it. So I'm going to put it in here so that way I can always look at it. So I am just going to, well, that didn't work, did it? I'm just going to pop this in just to see like the natural. I'm not trying to force it either because, you know, I want to see where the natural thing is going to be. And, you know, all right, so that's up a little bit. I'm going to put a little dot where I need to punch my hole. And hopefully that's going to work. So there's my little dot. It's pretty much in the center. Imagine that. That's a win right there. So when I made this, what I was doing was I'm going to use, first of all, this is my crocodile. I'm going to use the 3/16 inch. Yeah, the 3/16 inch, the big press. I'm using the big one. I think that says 3/16. Yep, so I'm going to use that, and I don't even need the guide. It has a guide where you can put it down so that you don't go down too far on your paper, or that, you know, you don't make it too shallow. But I'm not even going to use the guide because I punched my, I put a dot. So I'm just going to, things are going to be coming out of this left and right, but I'm just going to, where are we here? Put that in. I think I'm going to have to do it this way. Go this way. I can see where my hole is, but I want to see where my little thing's coming out, because remember, I didn't use my guide. I'm just winging it here, which is basically what I do. All right, so I'm going to, all right, punched it. All right, so it took a little bit. It's right under the rickrack. It did like cut the rickrack a little bit, but I'm okay with that. And that's that. So now let's just clip on this bad boy. Thank you, Lori, because I love my little charm. I might have to cut that little piece of paper, but this is it. Now I have my charm. And if I feel like it's gonna rip it or something, I'll just reinforce like my spine somehow. I'll just figure that out. But I'm not worried about it right now because, you know, it just sits on the shelf right now. So isn't that pretty? She made me this really pretty one with all these little bowls and baubles, and they're beautiful. And there's some that are metal, and there's some metal charms on here. I know there's a hat somewhere. There's the hat. And yep, she knows I like the bling. So there we go. So that's that. So let's get into this bad boy. I'm just going to take a sip of my drink. So like I said, this is my first little golden book and my first Christmas journal. I was trying to, in the beginning, I was trying to do like a December daily, but like I said, I'm not good with keeping up with that. But, so everything was glued. At this point, I wasn't even sewing, so everything is glued. Oh, sorry about that. And I covered up. I had some, like these, this is an old stamp and some old Christmas seals. So you're going to see all that. There's a lot of vintage in here too. And this is, and I just washed this down. I didn't shellac it or like Mod Podge it. It is the way it is. I didn't do anything to the cover. So this was the first page, and I used vintage. This is all vintage wrapping paper. And I made a pocket, and I made this little thing because I just love, you know, vintagey stuff. We're stuck here. And these are like some old sequins. See those old sequins? So this, I think, you know what? This might have been like a picture from an old Ideals book. And I just loved it. So I had some of these vintage sequins, and I glued those on. And this was a sequin. I glued that on. And then I glued on some some little red sequins, but some of them have fallen off, as I can see. And I saw this is 2 envelopes, and I put some paper on, and I can always do a tutorial on this if anyone's interested. And this is a vintage, like German, you know, the little, because you know when you're on here you can't remember the little die cuts, but you know the vintagey ones. And yeah, so I put my thread through that way, not the thread, you know, this was vintage too, because I just love all that stuff. But I'm trying to use it because I have it, and it's like, all right, we got to use it because it's fantastic. So what I did for this was, so this is like 2 envelopes put together, and then I did the paper like that. But this particular envelope, this whole thing was Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is like the start, you know, Thanksgiving is, this is how I think of it. Thanksgiving is, oh look at, I even put paper on the inside, is like the prequel, like, you know, okay, we're going to eat and then we're going to plan our attack for Christmas. And that's like what it is. So I always take pictures of everything. Oh, look, I even mounted that. Thanksgiving Day 2019, the table is set, and everybody who went. And so the food, I always take pictures of the food. I write a little something. Usually this is the shopping list. Yeah, this is the shopping list. And the days up to what had to be done. So I kept that. I stuck that in there. So I like to keep that in there because, you know, that's like the beginning. To me, that's the beginning. I mean, usually I start before then, but you get the drift. So that here's just more stuff. So that's that. I'm not going to fuss with the bow, but... And so I must have had this in here. See, this was another thing I did because this is my first one. My pages are not like tied in here really, really tight. Like this signature, look how loose that signature is. That's like whatever, but it is what it is. So, as the season goes by, like the other seasons, like where did I find this from? I have no idea, but I stuck it in here because I'll use it in here for something. And I just stick things in. So like this was one, but it was December 1st. Okay, I did, you know, I was writing with gel pens and whatnot, and I was just doing decorating, and here's the book, and I did more writing, and I have like my big stash of vintage Christmas cards that I just absolutely love because they're fantastic. But you can open this up, and you have more writing space, and I made it a pocket. Oh, and I made... So these are, excuse me, tags from old Christmas cards. And I just use my, you know, I have a die. I just cut them out. And then what I did in the back was, I always get an ornament every year. This is my new vintage ornament for 2019. Oh, and here's my other vintage ornament where I had these growing up. Those types of, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if you can see it. Those types of vintage ornaments. And they have the angel hair inside, which is literally spun glass. But, you know, when you're a kid, you don't know. And this one is actually styrofoam bowl, but it's all decorated, and they carved out the inside and they put Mr. and Mrs. Claus on the inside. So anyway, and the same trim is this trim, which, well, sort of similar, which I thought was funny. So anyway, I'll be here forever if I keep explaining everything. So I stuck those in there, and see how my book just wants to like slide down, which is good if you want a flat surface to write. So I put lots of lace and trims and whatnot. And so what I usually do is I'll take all the Christmas cards and I just stick them in here because I'll put them in here at some point, and you'll probably see that. So I was trying to like keep up with the days, and 3, 4, but you know, I don't think that's a true assessment of it. It could have been, I don't remember now. But so here's like a really pretty vintage postcard, and this was like another children's book, and I just added some lace to that, and this is the other side of it. This paper's kind of thick, and so some of them, obviously, if you look at this, like I didn't finish decorating everything, but I wanted to just do things. Oh, so this is a pocket on the inside. Oh yeah, so what I do, what I do is I save the tags because yeah, And my boyfriend likes to put it in order of which to open your gifts. So that's what those are. So I save those because, you know, sometimes they're funny. And like this is a vintage. Obviously it's supposed to be an ornament, but you know, like that. So I made pockets and I used all different kinds of paper. Probably every kind of Christmas paper pack that I had, except for like the pink. I don't think I have any of the pink in here. I used, and I just put, yep, look at this beautiful Christmas postcard. Oh, it's beautiful. So we did 6, so I put a belly band here and I added pictures from one of the stores down here had a big Christmas, these are things from my tree, had a big Christmas sale, and so we went to that, and here's like an old paper Santa. It must have been an ornament, but that's an old one. And yeah, so I just did stuff like that. And this was, so I like to I take a million pictures. I must have 20,000 pictures on my phone, and I save everything. This was this what it was, a silver skate. This was the store, and they had, it's like, if you like vintage, this place is it. They had like one of those aluminum trees. So I did a flip up like this. And I don't know if you can see that. That is an old metal mattress, the box spring, and they hung it from the ceiling, and they put all silver bowls in the inside of the thing. It's amazing when you just look up and you see that. So yeah, all the old vintage Christmas things are there. It's I love that store. We finally went this year. I think it was after Christmas because yeah. So anyway, so I have like a lot of. This was, I don't know what it was. I turned it into, it was probably just paper. And then I have these dies of the little, these are Tim Holtz die, of the little coffee cups. And I used here, those little seals I used for, you know, to hold the picture in. And so this, I know this looks like a mess right here. This was a wicked, wicked old piece of, it was like a coloring book, and it was so old and fragile. I put probably looks like a 2-year-old did it, but I put gold washi tape that, you know, I had to glue down, and then I had, you know, all my vintage seals I added, and then I have, this is the Tim Holtz die, and then I just put like all my tags in here, and like little tags that I cut from things I put in there, and that's how I save things like that. And so there's just a lot. Oh, so here's the rest of the numbers. I just stuck them up there. And then I think maybe by 7 or more, I think I was done. I was done with doing the thing. So, I don't know. Well, here's 8, but that 8 didn't get very far. So I just did, here's pictures of the house that I didn't put in yet. And here's that other page. So I just added like all these things, and oh, like here's some Christmas cards, and that one's a beautiful one. That's from Kirk's Folly. That's from my aunt. So clearly I want to put that in here, but I haven't done that yet. And I did some stenciling, and here's some of those photo corners, and, you know, tags and old cards and paper and trim, because I had so much trim. See, this is what happens. Like I have all these pictures in here and everything. But this is from an old children's book page. This one, and I did put the story throughout. And this, oh yeah, see, this was, my mom made this, 2009. My mom makes her Christmas cards every year and sends them out, so I save them. So that's in there. It's a tuck spot, and more labels. Oh, here's another Christmas card I got. Oh, yep, that goes like that. Oh, it's 2020. She made a little shaker, and so I just made it a pocket. And I mean, I like probably just putting mostly pictures in here, and you know, but this will give you an idea of things to do. I think this is a flip up. Is this a flip up? Oh yeah. And I used a lot of the stuff that I used everything that I had. I didn't buy anything for it. I just, because I love Christmas and I have so much stuff. And I did, oh, this is what I did over here. These are old stamps, and then I just used them like to to hold in this, which folded out. And yeah, so you can use things different ways. And this isn't anybody in my family, but I love old pictures, especially Christmas, because I just like to see what they're doing. And the trees, look at that tree, it's awesome. So I like doing things. So that's basically what I did. Here's some old Christmas tags. So the whole story is in here, and this is from an old placemat, Season's Greetings. I think I have it in more in here. And like this is from the Ideals book, and it just goes on. And a lot of the things back here, this I got from someone, and it was really cute. Oh, I put my little Coco in there. There's Coco and Nova. Oh, there she is. This is my little baby. Nova hates getting dressed up, but I still dressed her up for Christmas. So that was 2019. Of course, they're going to be in there. They're my babies. So, yeah. So this is my, this was my own personal journal, but I have like a million pictures on my phone. And I'm saving up all my Amazon things because, oh, look at this beautiful postcard. Merry Christmas. And it's just a beautiful dark with all the gold, and it's embossed. And oh, someone did send it. 1908. 1908. So yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I'll stick things, you know, like I probably wanted to put this here somewhere, so I'll just stick them in where I want them. And yeah, that's what I do. And I know this was in here loose, but when I put that in, it was falling out. But this, I don't know how old this is. I don't think this is that old, but it's clearly a die cut and an ornament with an angel and everything. But there's all, can you see all that glitter on it? Oh, I love it. And she was just so cute. So she's going to go somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh, here's the elf. Oh, Ma, if you're watching, I wonder if that's the elf. Oh, no, it's not the elf. You gave me this elf. We have a thing in my family about elves. So, yeah. This is at her house, so I know that I got this elf. This wasn't... There's a whole different story about that, but I don't think I'm allowed to say it. I don't think I'm allowed to say it on here, just in case certain people are watching. So anyway, this is an old die. It's not even a die cut. It was cut from something, but it must have been from a card. But he's got little, like a little velvet on him. I love it. I don't know if this is anything. That might have just been that. That could have been like the front of a card. So yeah. So I have a lot of, and I just see. Look at that. First of all, look at that. Look at this guy. These colors are beautiful, and, you know, he just reminds me of a little pixie elf. So this is an old book music page, and that's a little delicate, too. And I was kind of trying to use up, like, some of these. I mean, I have a ton of them, but I just love them because, you know, I remember when I was young, and we had those. So, you know, it's all the nostalgia, too. You just love... All right, I am in my, I don't know, third signature. And so I stuck him on here because I'm not going to write on here because look how, you know, delicate that is. That's the other side of that paper. And look at this guy. I did try to match them up. I think I matched them up pretty good. Look at this guy. He has, can you see that? He has like some silvery all over him. And, I was making something for that, what is it, that other journal that I'm making. And I wanted to make something with the pinks and whatnot, the Nutcracker journal. And so this is what I made, a little thing like this. But this image on the top, this was from a printable. And again, I apologize, I don't remember who I got it from. But anyway, if you can see that, like, the original, this must have been from a card. So the original card, you can tell by the silver that it was, like, glittery, like this glittery. But it's just the way it came out. Obviously, it's not glittery, but you can just tell, like, well, you know, if you're familiar with, like, the old cards like this, you can tell, like, that must have been all glittery on the original card, which must have been beautiful. So I just added things, and usually the cards that I get like for that year, I'll just stick in here. I don't know where they are because I know I have a whole bunch. Oh, you know what? I spoke too soon because here's a whole bunch of them. And here's a whole bunch. Oh, and some pictures. So those will have to go in here somewhere. And just more little tuck spots and pockets. And I just tried to use, oh, this is a cute card. He actually folds down like that and up. And he's just so cute. I didn't want to do anything to it. And he's a little tuck spot right there. And I just wanted to use, I love using like the laces on the side, which, you know, and plus this particular book, not that I would know like a lot of the books, but has so much color in it. And I know that I like using like so much color. Not all the time, you know, like that Nutcracker journal is a lot of pastels and whatnot, which is really, really pretty too. So this is the middle of that signature, and I'm just flipping through because I think I added stuff, but nothing is, it's still a blank canvas, and I added some little pieces of notepad right there, and coffee dyed papers, and I used, this is another this is a vintage children's book, and I think I just got these in something, and maybe I bought an auction and it had a whole bunch of stuff, but I made these little, these are all vintage, this is all vintage wrapping paper, and I just glued it onto a piece of coffee dyed paper, and I just made little tags out of them, because, you know, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it was all vintage, and I love my vintage wrapping paper. So, oh, look at that card. So this one, all right, so I don't care about if it has, I don't care if it has, like, this one has some staining on it, the card, but that just, to me, shows the age. But if you can see, that's like foil and has some of that glitter on it. And I just loved it. So this was the whole card. This was the front, and this was the inside, but I didn't want to, and this is from a senator, and I know it's a little shaquat and whatnot, but I just loved everything. I didn't want to hide it, and I think the card was kind of, it wasn't sturdy enough, so I cut it like that, and I just did it like that. So I think we're on the last signature, and I did a little pocket music page, but I put in here a Viewmaster. Well, who is it? Oh, we got a couple. Oh, we have Rudolph. Oh, we have Rudolph. Look how cute. So maybe I was going to use that as like a tuck spot or something, but here is the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I don't know if there's a year. There might be a year. I just can't see it. But that was cute. So I stuck that in there, probably just for future reference, to use it somehow. Is there something in here? Oh, here's another, oh yeah, look at this one. Here's another postcard. This one is, all right, so this one's highly embossed, as you can, if you can see that. And this on top is like, oh, it's like felty, or like, it's like, I don't know, it's really, really soft. It looks like they added that on top of these, and then it's like they airbrush them. I don't know how they did that back then. It's like they airbrushed them, but they put this piece of paper on top of it so that you could write in our dear grandma. So I don't know if this was actually sent, but that's beautiful. So that bad boy was in there. I probably put it in here to keep it safe so it wouldn't get all messed up and whatnot. Oh, here's a pocket. Oh, look at that. Here's another one with that pretty gold. That was used, but I don't know what year. Well, it's a 1-cent stamp, so I'm going to say 1900s, like 1900 something. I think that's when they used the 1-cent stamp. So there's a little pocket there. The only thing I did not do when I made this was I didn't do any top pockets. For, you know, I mean, that's not meaning I can't, but for some reason when I was putting this together, that wasn't even a thought in my mind. So this is the cover of A Christmas Carols, and that was kind of whatever. And here's like a beautiful card, but it was long, and how else are you gonna put it with these cute little angels? And it has actually it's not really gold, it's gold, but it's not like shiny gold. But how cute. And I made little pockets out of that with little tags from a paper. And here's another part of that book, and I used that for that. And I just keep, oh, I put this little piece of doily on there, fabric doily. Here's some more. Oh, I did a little, I glued that on some fabric there. And here's another old postcard. Oh, he's really old. So if you can see how old this guy is, and see how he had a coating on him. He had a plastic coating that is coming off. But the picture is fantastic. 1910. Is that a 1 cent stamp? That's 1 cent. Yeah, 1910. So that's awesome. I don't know where I have that from. I think it was over here. I don't know. But I just saw another one. Look at this little guy, these little kids. They're so cute. And oh, this is a cupcake filter that I got from IKEA, and I just folded it up to make a whole bunch of pockets. We had gone to IKEA that year. And yeah, so I just put like rickrack on the sides, and oh yeah, look at this guy. He's got a feather. Yeah. So, oh, here's another one. Oh man, look at that one. The embossed and the, oh, they put some felt leaves on there. 1912. Either 1902 or 1912. I want to say it's 02 because it's a 1 cent stamp. Oh, and they used the old ink and, you know, that, which I love. So I use washi tape because I was trying to, you know, this is a pocket too. This is from one of those books. I was just trying to, like, you know, use up stuff when you have an endless supply of stuff, it's hard to use things up. And here is the last page. And I made a big pocket tag sort of deal. And this was Happy New Year because it was the end, you know, end of Christmas season. And another highly embossed one with gold and 1908. And this was, oh, it's to that same lady from the last one. So I put that in there. And then I had this little, I don't know if this came from a Christmas card or if it was a little bitty Christmas card. And is it a pocket? Oh, it is a pocket. You know what? Let me put something in there so I know it's a pocket. I know there's a million little tags. So, yeah. So now we know it's a pocket. But it was so cute. And it's just, and it says Christmas greetings and best wishes for the new year. So I put that on the end. And I backed this with vintage wrapping paper. But I'll tell you. Can you see where, now I used, again, this was, you know, because it was a new one, I used, what's that stuff? The paper underneath so, you know, it won't rip when you sew the signatures in. What the heck did I staple? I stapled something apparently. It looks, I see staples. Something stapled. But anyway,